Meeting at 9:03. May I have a roll call, please?
Good morning. Mayor Paul Kumar, Chair. Ms. Lauren Welch, Vice Chair.
Present.
Ms. Anastasia Elder. Mayor Marie Gallo. Mr. Stephen Love.
Here.
Reverend Charles Lucas. Ms. Deidre McPherson.
Present.
Ms. Emily Pachetti.
Here.
Mr. Jeffrey Sleesman.
Here.
Mayor David Weiss.
Present.
We do have a quorum.
Thank you so much for that. May we have the certification regarding notice of the meeting?
Dear Vice President, I first advise that notice of this meeting has been posted more than 24 hours in advance of the meeting, that the usual notification has been given the news media and other interested persons, and that all requirements of the Ohio Revised Codes and rules and bylaws of this board regarding notice of meeting have been complied with.
Thank you so much. We are now going to go into the approval of the meetings from the June 17th, 2025 board meeting. Do I have an approval of the meeting?
Move to approve.
Second, Pachetti.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Those meeting minutes have been approved. We will now go into the public comment. We allow everyone to have 2 minutes on agenda and non-agenda items today because we are in a board meeting. We'll first start off with those individuals who are in person. If you can say your name and the city you reside in, that would be wonderful.
Chris Martin, City of Cleveland. I need to start preparing more ahead of time. Okay. I was just talking to Trustee Love outside to encourage the Cleveland Foundation, newly appointed board members. Maybe this is something that you can push to provide fare free transit on election days. Both primary and generals. Y'all have done it for presidential elections. We are fighting fascism right now. We need every tool in the toolbox to fight. And y'all have billions of dollars. You can spend some of your billions. Related to fares, specifically free fares, I don't know, this is a very controversial topic, and it's a weird thing for me to really talk on because I personally fall on the side of frequency before free fares. We need to make transit more convenient. It's still, a full cost fare card for the year is about $1,000. Costs over $10,000 to own a car. So it is still much cheaper to rely on transit, but it is much harder to rely on transit because there is not enough of it, and that is incumbent upon all of you to fix. But on free fares, I was at a Cleveland District Public Transit meeting yesterday where we had a presentation from a person from Transit Columbus in the National Campaign for Transit Justice, and this presenter in their Transit Columbus half talked about their fight for free fares in Columbus, and one win that they've had that I actually really like, and I think you all should adopt, is anytime that there is a heat advisory, anytime that there is a snow emergency, Cleveland RTA should go fare free. Get people where they need to go as conveniently as possible. And all of this, I guess, is obviously related to money. So I will remind you all again that in about 2 or 3 years, you are going to be broke unless you do something about it, unless you go to the ballot to find new local funding. It's not going to come from the states. It's not going to come from the feds. We've got to act locally. And on that, like, I'm still hoping for an answer to the tax question, how much you all can actually tax. So I'll close there.
Thank you. Do we have any other in-person comments today? Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Kevin Hinkle. I live in Cleveland, Ohio. I'm a longtime RTA commuter. I wanted to report that the 2 bus stop signs have been put in place. The first one is located on St. Clair Avenue, East 55th, going westbound at Jack to the Shell Station. And the second one is located Ridge Road and Vendella Avenue. Bus stop sign has been put into place. Let you know that. But one of the stop I'm concerned about, there's a bus stop right there in Lakeshore Boulevard at Jack to the Collinwood Rec Center. It's just that the hedge just needs to be trimmed so the commuters can see the bus coming around the corner because the bus the hedge is high to stop and the bus will fly by and won't see the person. That's all I just want to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Eco. Thank you, Mr. Martin, for those public comments. Do we have any other in-person comments? Do we have any over the phone?
There are 2 callers.
Okay.
Caller 0387, you can go ahead.
This is Eric Stewart from Cleveland, Ohio. I'm totally against daily free fares for public transit. However, I do believe that every single word that Chris said should be detailed and made for the historical record, which is not something that you do. Make every single word that he said and every single word that I'm saying part of the public record for the historical value of that. And I have conveyed that in my web form today, and I want that to be put in verbatim as requested in the first sentence. I also want these questions asked as well, answered, that have not been answered yet. Why did RTA say that the 50 was faster between East 177th and 93rd than the 48A when it is not? Why are you saying that it gives more service to Mount Pleasant, to the Leesville businesses, and it does not? The 48A gives more service. Why are you saying that the transfer times are better? The 48A gets to the 15, the 14, the rapid faster than the 50 does coming from the South Point, and even if it didn't get there faster coming from 93rd, it still goes to Shaker Square, which is most likely where people will be getting on to the Blue and Green Rapid because they want to shop there. Why do you cut people off the phone after they've made their comments and tell them to go online, but people in person can stand there for the duration? If there's a cost issue attached to this, explain what the cost issue is. If there is no cost issue attached to this, then me and anybody else that calls in should be able to stay on the phone and listen after their public comments. And I'll say this as well. I want to be able to hear my entire web form conveyed in this Board of Trustees meeting today by phone and know that it's going to be posted correctly, and go back and put in all the other web forms that I put in, which has been 5, correctly, verbatim, because this is for the historical value of the public comments. You are a taxpayer-funded agency, and you should conduct yourself as one, as opposed to conveying things that were not conveyed by me or anybody else for the public record, when that would be the wrong public record if I didn't convey it and you said that I did. That includes any feelings that you think I may have. Conduct yourself better. Go back and correct all my web forms. I typed them up for you. You don't have to retype them. Just put them in as they are, and go back and correct all my public comments and anybody else's public comments as well, verbatim. It's
Thank you.
for the best interest of the common good.
Thank you. We'll be able to read those in the web form comments. Do we have the next caller?
Yes. Caller 0220.
Hello, my name is Don. Hello, my name is Dantes Taylor, and I live in Cleveland, Ohio, and I am perturbed with paratransit. Paratransit, half of the time they're an hour or two late, and then we have to get like like if we trying to get to a doctor's appointment, we can't get there half of the time because they're late coming to our residents and everything else, and we need to find out how we can fix this and how we can get more paratransit drivers and get rid of get rid of the people that are like provide a ride and GCs of this shit. We need to get rid of them, and we need to figure out how we can make it better for us with just regular RTA drivers, because this system is messed up, and it keeps crashing. So we need to find out how we can have a backup system when paratransit crashes. When it crashes, and then you can't make your ride for the next day because they crashed, and then it's your fault and all that crap. Because some people have to wait to that day to schedule because they don't know their schedule for that next day, or next day. We don't know what can happen. You know what I mean?
Thank you.
Try to schedule that day.
We can have someone follow up with you around paratransit. We appreciate those comments.
There
Comments
are no
from
other callers in queue.
Thank you. Can we have any web form comments? Red.
Good morning,
Good morning.
General Manager Terry. Good morning to the board, and good morning to all present. We received 6 submissions as of last night, none this morning. And the first is from Vera Dendinko, City of Residence, Cleveland. Her comment is, can we fix the word calendar to its appropriate spelling on the Easy Fare app for monthly disabled passes? Been requesting since April 25. Thank you. Next, we have Bernie Okar, City of Residence, Medina. He had 3 comments. He stated Euclid Avenue trolley bus needs to be brought back. Number 2, all of the parking rides need to be brought back. And number 3, are the 51 and 51A lines being discontinued if this project becomes reality? And lastly, Mr. Eric Stewart, City of Residence, Cleveland, comment post, all this verbatim. Public comments and questions during the Board of Trustees meeting should be posted verbatim. This is part of the historical record of civic engagement. The actual statements conveyed should not be misconstrued or abbreviated. It will serve the BOT well, Board of Trustees well, to read this report from the Federal Reserve Bank, Missed Connections in Cleveland, the disconnect between job access and employment. I have been sending you information prior to this report on this very matter. This is a strong contributor as to why you should be compelled to implement the suggested 15A, 48A into in existence. A minimum of 61 businesses at Pinecrest and 24 businesses at Shaker Square should have direct service for a population that is most likely to use it on these hourly buses in a 15 to 16 hour time period, Monday through Friday, and a 13 to 14 hour time period, Saturday and Sunday. The Federal Reserve Bank of Cleveland has, in part, the responsibility to support the goals of maximizing employment in the metro area, 4th Fed Reserve District. RTA has a responsibility to the socioeconomic well-being of the public through the implementation of public transit. I have sent at least 5 web form responses. Please correct your errors and post what I took the opportunity in time to type. Please do the same with all of my at least 48 phone calls to Board of Trustee meetings. Do not continue to allow my public record contribution to be misconstrued. Go back and make the corrections.
Thank you for those comments. Public comment is such an instrumental part of the democratic process and how we ensure that we're listening to individuals who take transit every day. So I'm always grateful, and I know this board is always grateful for those who comment in person, comment over the phone, and comment via web forum. So thank you for the reading of those comments. We are now going to move on to our committee reports. Are there any report outs from any of our trustees? Okay, we'll move on to the next. I will say that there is a Civilian Oversight Committee meeting on July 29th at 5 p.m., so that will be my report. On the agenda, are there any ad hoc committee reports? Ad hoc committee. Okay, thank you so much for that, trustees. We will now go on to the introduction of new employees and announcements of promotions, which I know is our favorite, from Ms. Ida Warshall, Senior Manager of Talent Acquisition.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Vice Chair Welch, India Birdsong Terry, entire board. Get this over here. There we are. It is my honor to announce some of the new hires for July. They'll be joining the new RTA family with some shared commitment to our mission. As we always start out with our bus operators, we have Joseph Walker, Devin Beasley, Travis Sanders, Rashad Maddox, Saquon Williams, Kamitha Trotter, which I remember from one of our events. And when we hire people, we have a little bell that they ring. This bell is excitement. She rung that bell till it just wouldn't stop, and she still has that enthusiasm. Moving on with Sharonda Littlejohn, Stacy Spears, Tavon Eppinger. Juan Randall, Kiara Walker, Amanda Llewellyn, Aretha Meadows, Dion Watson, Barry Washington, Jason Albrecht, Reginald McDuffie, and Brandon Robinson. Rounding things out for bus operators are Erica Davis, Kanisha Jackson, and Howard Adams Jr. Moving into paratransit, we have a new paratransit reservationist, and that's Lachey Kander. Jason, I'm going to get this right. Miliato. There it is. Thank you. He's our equipment servicer in rail. You Can So is equipment servicer. Lamont Irvin, line maintainer. Irvin Scroggins, substation maintainer. And Newman Majib, supervisor of power and way. Yes, we have also some engineer co-ops joining the family, and we have Bashir Abdur Razak. And then we also have Claire McElwin, engineering co-op, and they're both working on assignments with electrical and construction projects. Brian Sebro, communications specialist, central communications specialist. Christina Audia, stock clerk, and Shelley Moore, labor, non-safety sensitive. We all wish them well in their new endeavors as they join RTA. Absolutely, thank you. Well, July has been a month of growth, and you'll see why. We have a lot to honor in the recognition of some folks that have really surpassed expectations. And we're going to give congratulations first to Cardale Jones, manager of equipment Hayden, Alton Curley, equipment maintainer, Anthony Pollock, equipment maintainer, Brian Haller, equipment maintainer, Derek Bross, equipment maintainer, and Eric Lyons, also equipment maintainer. We have Andrew Kozak, equipment body mechanic, Dude Knight, equipment body mechanic, and Philip Guy, vehicle maintenance instructor. Yes, we are not finished. Julio Santiago is a vehicle servicer. Joseph Sopko, manager, transportation, Hayden. Call him Joey. Shawnee Hubbard, manager, transportation, paratransit. James Waken, manager of asset and configuration. Brian Schultz, resident engineer, architect 1. And finally, Timothy Toll, heating and air conditioning mechanic. Give them all a round of applause. Yes. Here's the fun part. It gives me great pleasure to announce those who have retired second quarter 2025. We have some present today. As I say your name, would you please stand? And then we'll ask you to go over and take pictures with Vice Chair, also India Birdsong Terry, and also Dr. Caver. So we take that, we'll give your name, and just stand up when I call you. All right, let me get over here. Scott Valenci, Manager of Equipment. Antoine Bishop, Electronic Equipment Maintainer. Thomas Basic, Equipment Maintainer. Deborah Rogan, Paratransit Operator. Howard Walton Jr., who is present, Bus Operator, 30 years. Thank you. Mr. Walton is here with his relative, and that is Lamont. Thank you for attending and supporting. You're welcome. Jonathan Bruce, Vehicle Servicer. Andrea Garcias Hostler. Rhonda Edie, Power and Waste Stock Clerk, 31 years. Yes, yes. Rhonda is here joined with her son, Justin. We have Richard Chamberlain. Also retiring, David Dipple, Equipment Body Mechanic. Timothy Novick, and also Timothy Green. Rail Operator, Alvin Hives. Thomas Harriman, Rail Operator. Robin Roberts, Supervisor, Cross Train, and Zardik Harutunium, Financial Accountant 1. John Merriweather, Vehicle Damage Estimator, and Kenneth Springer, Assistant Equipment Manager, who is actually listening and watching on the Gulf of Mexico, and he with his wife. And so I just wanted to give a nice shout out. Thank you. So, if we can have you all go over to the, we call it a step and repeat, the red and white RTA, and take pictures. Yes, and Ken will take you over there. And then if you come back and give us some reflections and kind of tell us some memorable stories. All right.
We're going this way.
All right. All right. Thank you. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. You want to? You can.
He's go.
Come on. Come on. Come on. I think it'll be nice. I think it'll be nice, yes. Mm-hmm. Thanks, Ken. Mm-hmm. 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 Okay. Oh, you did get here. Oh, okay. Okay. Thank you. Uh-huh. Who want to go first? So I go? Okay. There you go. It's all ready.
It's already. Everybody's oh. Good morning, everyone. My name is Howard Lewis Walton Jr. I just want to say one thing. When I started here 30 years ago, it's the old timers here, and they told me to just stick to RTAs the way they want things done. First of all, I like to say, I'm stuttering right now. I'm kind of nervous. But one thing I can say is this here. When I retired May 1st, 25, I said, no one called me. And I thought no one cared. Then I got that letter. Then I got that phone call. And I felt great again. And it is an honor to serve 30 years with this company. It has been a wonderful journey. I really appreciate it, really. And I'm going to take something with me when I leave here. And I appreciate it. Thank you.
Ma'am, you got your thing? Yes.
Uh-huh.
There you go.
Good morning, everyone. I had the foresight to write a little something down because I ramble and I didn't want to do that. I wanted to stick to the script. So bear with me while I read my little thing here. 30 years ago, I applied for a bus driver's job at the Greater Cleveland Regional Transit Authority, and lo and behold, I got the job. It was the beginning of a 30-year odyssey that I'm still catching my breath from. One of the first things I did was tell my family about my fortunate opportunity. At that time, my Aunt Rose spoke to me and admonished me to, and I quote, plant your feet. You see, I developed a very nomadic, wandering spirit and had developed an unconscious habit of getting jobs, good ones for the most part, but inevitably not by getting fired, but not being challenged enough to want to stay, so I would leave. So I made a promise to my Aunt Rose that I would indeed plant my feet. During my training as a bus operator, my first position here at the Greater Cleveland Transit Authority, the advice given to me in my class by my trainer was, if you see a job and you think you can do it, apply. Well, for someone like me, that advice was a beacon to my wandering spirit. It would take more time than I have here today to regale you all with my winding, crazy journey. So let me just say that in my time here, I've worn many different hats, all by choice. Beginning as a bus operator, I've had a lot of firsts that I'm very proud of. I was the first full-time female in the Power and Way track department. The first female grade 6 in the track department. And although it only lasted for a 24-hour period, I still was the first. There's a story behind that, but we won't get into that. And the first full-time fill-in load dispatcher. In addition to these, I also was a paratransit operator, a transit police dispatcher, a Power and Way track inspector. But my last 10 years here were spent as the lead grade 5 for the Power and Way startup department of inventory at Power and Way. Oh boy, the stories I could tell you about that, but I won't. So while there were many unfortunate negatives during my time here, I'm choosing to speak to the positive. The positiveness of affording me, a single Black female, to roam and experience variety, if not contentment, to achieve goals for myself both personally, professionally, and financially, to sustain me as I raised my proudest achievement, my son Justin. If there are any words of wisdom I could leave with you, Madam President, and your board, it would be to speak to the utilization of your in-house goods rather than importing from the outside. There are quite a lot of knowledgeable, hardworking, and intelligent people who, like me, didn't achieve a college degree for whatever reason, but nonetheless have a lot of talent, skill, and ability to get the job done. To my Aunt Rose, I want to say thank you. I was able to keep my promise to you and plant my feet. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, appreciate you so much.
Thank you. Well, we have to thank our Rose, too. That was wonderful. Thank you. Where's that, my little... All right. So that will include our new hire promotions and retiring presentation, and we'll do the resolutions. And thank you all for joining us.
Thank you for joining us. Thank you for your time at RTA. We will get into our first resolution, which is 2025-77.
Expressing congratulations to the employees of the Greater Cleveland Regional Transit Authority who retired during the second quarter of 2025.
Thank you. I move to approve that. Do I have a second?
Second.
McPherson.
All in favor? Hopefully no one opposed. Thank you again. Let's give them a round of applause again. Thank you so much. That motion carries. That resolution carries. Resolution 2025-78.
Authorizing contract number 2025-081 with Trampese Software Group, Inc. to provide paratransit software maintenance and support services for a 3-year period in an amount not to exceed $2,005,421. General Fund, Information Technology Department budget.
Thank you. Do I have a motion?
So moved, Pachetti.
Second, Sleesman.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That resolution carries. Thank you. 2025-79.
Authorizing contract number 2025-083 with Motorola Solutions, Inc. to install a distributed antenna system in the airport's tunnel in a total contract amount not to exceed $148,643. RTA Development Fund, Information Technology Department budget.
Thank you. Do I have a motion?
So moved, Sleesman.
Second, Elder.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion passes. Resolution 2025-80.
Authorizing the General Manager, Chief Executive Officer to enter into an intergovernmental agreement with the Cleveland Metropolitan School District for student fares for the 2025-2026 school year.
Thank you. Do I have a motion?
So moved, Elder.
Second, Sleesman.
Can we have a roll call on that, please?
Ms. Lauren Welch,
Abstain.
Ms. Anastasia Elder,
Yes.
Mayor Marie Gallo,
Yes.
Mr. Stephen Love,
Yes.
Ms. Deidre McPherson,
Yes.
Ms. Emily Pachetti,
Yes.
Mr. Jeffrey Sleesman,
Yes.
Mayor David Weiss.
Yes.
That resolution passes. Thank you. Resolution 2025-81.
Adopting the tax budget of the Greater Cleveland Regional Transit Authority for the fiscal year beginning January 1, 2026, and submitting the same to the Cuyahoga County Fiscal Officer.
Thank you. Do I have a motion?
So moved. Yeah. So moved, Sleesman. Second, Love.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion passes. Thank you. 2025-82.
License agreement to allow development of a public park on land located on the Columbus Peninsula of the Flats in the city of Cleveland.
Thank you. Do I have a motion?
So moved, McPherson.
Second, Pachetti.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion passes. Resolution 2025-83.
Amending section 410.01 procurement policies of the codified rules and regulations of the Greater Cleveland Regional Transit Authority.
Do you want to speak to that? Yep.
Yes, thank you. Appreciate the opportunity. Good morning, everyone. Just wanted to give a quick update on this particular item that's in front of you. As customary, we brought this in front of the committee earlier in the month to be able to explain the details. I have requested an edit, an amendment to this particular item, so I wanted to explain that. It is a small but significant detail that really is outlined in the managerial process of the change order authority. So we are still coming to you as a board to be able to ask for the thresholds to be adjusted. Per the state approval of transportation agencies like ours to be able to approve up to $250,000 for contracts before coming to the board. That remains intact. What I want to make sure that you understand, if you look at the bottom of the item for the staff summary and comments within your book, and I'll explain it so you don't have to thumb through it, is we're actually switching or requesting to switch from the proposed 3 categories to 2 categories, whereby we have up to contracts that are $2.5 million will have a threshold of change order authority for staff and myself for signing up to $250,000. This is the same as we presented in front of you at committee. The change here is to be able to have any contract over $2.5 million to also have an associated $500,000 change order authority for staff and myself to execute before coming to the board. Previously, we had a 3rd category that had contracts over $5 million to have a threshold of change order authority up to $750,000. Upon additional review with the team, I did ask for information late last week just to have a double gut check in relation to my conversation with both legal and accounting and procurement regarding the potential exposure and threshold that we have and risk. I wanted to make sure that we are butting up against that $500,000 for that 3rd category to make sure that it was a necessary evil to ask. I am very pleased to report that we have a very tight change order authority committee. And we've mentioned that several times before. We hold the reins very tight. We are conservative. I mentioned that before, so I'm staying true to my word. And we very rarely actually butt up against, excuse me, that $500,000. Of course, when it's necessary in times of contract where the contract is very unusual. I'll give an example of the waterfront line, for example. That's a once-in-a-lifetime sort of rehabilitation. Some of the things that we have done in East Portals for Tower City, those are the kind of change order authority that are very excessive and different, and not necessarily the rule, but necessarily the exception. So that being said, we very rarely are within that area. It made more sense for us to keep it at the $500,000 and be more conservative, understanding that we will continue to monitor this. And if we see that due to inflation and tariffs and everything else in the market, we are starting to hit that threshold a little earlier, which could happen, we can come back to you and ask for that 3rd category because it does make sense mathematically. But I wanted to make sure that we took baby steps to be able to hit that threshold because it does create a little bit of risk and exposure to us on the market with projects as well. But we do have a very tight, organized, and I am very confident in our process for change order authority. I want to appreciate the staff that definitely oversees that process. And I am happy to say that we will come to you with those 2 thresholds. And then if we find that, again, we're bumping up against that $500,000 for some of the larger contracts, we'll come back to you for an additional amendment to get us to that $750,000.
Comments from the board? All right. Do I have a motion?
So moved, Mayor Weiss. Second, Sleesman.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion passes. Thank you, GM Birdsong Terry. We will now get into the Secretary Treasurer's report. Thank you, Raj. We appreciate this time to learn what's going on with the Treasury.
Ms. Welch, members of the board, good morning once again. My name is Raj Gautam, Deputy General Manager of Finance and the Board Secretary Treasurer, here with the July update. Pretty normal report. Regular slides start by reviewing the economic conditions under which we operate. FOMC has maintained the interest rates at 4.5%. They are scheduled to meet later this month. And we'll have a better idea. And for some reason, I always end up looking at you. My apologies. Before we determine what the next course of actions and any rate changes are in effect. Inflation, as we don't see on this chart anymore, it hit a high of 9.1% back in 2022. It was at 2.3% in April 2025. There was a slight uptick in May, increasing to 2.4%. We had previously presented preliminary June numbers. We have the final June numbers in as far as the consumer confidence is concerned. It has steadily fallen for 6 consecutive months, so this is the first increase in June, where it increased 16%, and that chart on your right-hand side of the slide indicates a 16.3% increase in the index of consumer sentiment. Ridership through June 2025 on a year-to-date basis in the upper right corner of the boxed area, on a year-to-date basis, we're 0.7% lower when compared to 2024 levels. And when compared to pre-COVID levels, we are still lower by about 3.8 million rides, or roughly 24%. Passenger fares, 6.6% above June 2024 levels. And once again, this is largely due to timing issues in CMSD and UPass collections and billings and receipts. On a year-to-date basis, we are down 9.3%, roughly a 1.5 million below 2024. We have not yet received the July sales tax. That we expect that either later this week or early next week. It's trending towards coming in around the 20th of the month. June numbers we received late and had not previously been shared, so we'll review the June numbers. As a reminder, there is a 3-month lag, so the June collections really relate to the March economic activity. The revenue received in June was 4% higher when compared to June 2024. On a year-to-date basis, we are 3.1% higher when compared to the same period in 2024. 15 out of the 22 categories that make up the sales tax base were positive in June. Online sales, 17.1% higher. Motor vehicles and watercraft are 7.1% lower. Regular and statewide sales were 3.6% higher. Snapshot of the data that is included each month in your monthly package. Long-term debt remains at $22.3 million. A reminder that the principal payments are made annually. They will be made in December of 2025. We do have 2 interest payments, and we have a separate account for that, so cash flow-wise, I don't think that's an issue. Average investment yield on a year-to-date basis is 4.06%. Total cash and investments of $357.4 million, of which $29.8 million is in general fund, or the unrestricted monies. It is higher than the board required 1-month reserve. Another reminder, we did transfer the first $10 million from the Revenue Stabilization Fund to the general fund in May. As a reminder, 2025 budget for that transfer from the Budget Stabilization Fund or the Revenue Stabilization Fund is $50.5 million, so the first $10 million was transferred. With that, I'll take any questions that the board may have.
Questions? Thank you. Thorough as always. Appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda, we'll have the General Manager's report from CEO India Birdsong Terry.
All right, good morning, everyone. Morning. Got quite a few updates for you, but generally they're all good news. So we're just going to go ahead and try to fly through this a little bit and hopefully set a record for time. We'll see. Wanted to kick off funding that we are in receipt of is always a good thing. And we'll start off with the state fiscal year 2026-27 OTP2 grant awards. That particular grant is basically standing for OTP2 is the Ohio Transportation Partnership Program. I'll say that 3 times fast. And that is going to support our 4 rail cars, purchase of 4 rail cars, and also red line station signage. So you heard from us saying that we were investing in digital signage and being able to really be flexible when it comes to not only the service information, but also advertising by way of service delays and improvements and that kind of thing. So the total award through the OTP2 is $19.8 $1.81 million, and this will be provided over the span of 2 years. So we're really excited for this particular grant to be able to support our rail car improvement and replacement program. So kudos to the team for a great application and also being able to really lobby for this or advocate for this with our partners downstate. Also, wanted to make sure that I included this. For whatever reason, blame it on my head and not my heart. I did miss this particular slide in last month's update, so that's why the date here is still June. We did participate in the 2025 Pride Parade. Some months we have so much going on and it's difficult to get it all in there, so I wanted to make sure that I gave a shout out to those team members and also supporters of our ERG as well. So those folks that you see in the photo here is just a small snippet of some of the exuberance and the energy that goes behind the Pride Parade. As you all know, it's a staple here in Cleveland, and we do participate as an agency every year, and we continue to do that, and we appreciate those folks that are really supportive of each other and also just humanity overall. You can see the statistics here for ridership. It is a large event for our city, and so we appreciate those service individuals who also got everyone where they needed to be on time without an incident. All right. Also like to let you know when we have interviews going on. That's always not the things that I was talking about, but sometimes it's the internal updates on some of the programs that we have with external people. So you'll see here Leadership APTA. You may have heard of this acronym before, APTA of course, but the leadership part of it are really professional programs that APTA is going through every year to be able to think about the emerging leaders. They have that program as well as Leadership APTA, which is really a professional development program, probably about 50 to 60 people, very similar to Leadership Cleveland and those kind of ilk, to be able to talk about what are the industry trends, what are management changes going on, how do people handle ridership, how do you handle uncomfortable situations in transit, whether it's discipline or promotion and those kind of things. So workforce development was on the docket for this year, and our Deputy General Manager, George Fields of HR, right here in the back here, and myself had a joint interview via Zoom with the class of Leadership APTA. So we really were excited to be able to talk through some of the things that go into culture change in public transportation and what has worked well here and maybe what it needs to be worked on. And it was a great conversation. So I appreciate APTA for reaching out to us, and we continue to be good partners. Also, and these go in sequential order as well. We had a lot of energy around our 50th anniversary. For those of you that participated in that kind of culminating event in the Flats mid-month, we really appreciate you. This was part of the advertising, kind of get up and go for it. I was able to be on WTAM 1100 AM radio with the Bill Will show to just be able to say, hey, get up and get out for that event. We had an amazing turnout. It really felt like, and we were talking about this, to me it felt like a big block club party. And that's usually the best thing you can. So I appreciate that. My Chicago roots say thank you for the marketing team to hear me when I asked for that type of vibe, so to speak, and I think we really pulled it off well. So thank you to everyone who participated. I know we had a lot of participation from the board as well. All right, next up is the National Association of Minority Contractors, Northern Ohio chapter, otherwise known as NAMAC. This award was actually bestowed upon our business development group here at RTA. And so Carl Kirkland, who is the director of business development, received that on our behalf. It really was to be able to tout our support and ongoing commitment to professional development as it pertains to female and minority construction companies in the area. So we really are excited about that. To be recognized in that way is really nice. Sometimes there's a lot of work that goes behind the data, and this is definitely not a small feat. We appreciate those contracting businesses that are trying to get off the ground, and we're there to support them. Also, we did a lot of hosting over the last 30 days, just as information. We have a lot of acronyms as well. ENO, which through a little bit of research, I think Janet asked me what that stood for, and I said, I've always called it ENO. I do not know. There is a gentleman that it is named after. And so the ENO Transportation, it's the ENO Center for Transportation, is actually housed on the East Coast. And they really are taking a national approach to being able to train up the mid-level managers in transportation. I've been through ENO myself on the maintenance side and operations side in years past, and really understanding those kind of programs that we want our mid-level managers to go through. as they start to ascend the corporate ladder into upper management. So this particular class, they switch around every year. Cleveland was the host. This year, there were 38 participants. Shout out to Jose Feliciano, who was the participant for RTA. I'm not sure if he's in the room today, but we appreciate him for that, out of the External Affairs group, to really be participatory in this, and we get to showboat. We basically take them to the rail yard, we take them on our trains, we explain how we operate, and then they go through their 2 or 3 day commitment through the ENO transportation program. And shout out to George Fields as well, who was there to be able to host those individuals through the HR department. So we appreciate that partnership. This is the ongoing way that we stay at the table. I had a great time addressing them as well. It was a lot of fun. All right, back to the 50th, again in chronological order. But this is what I wanted to take a moment, and we as a team wanted to really showcase the commitment that we had from internal and external supporters. So there are a few slides. As I'm talking through it, just take a moment to really take it in. We had a lot of collaboration. You'll see iHeart Radio was there as well. I did hop on the mic probably a little more than they expected, and really kind of emceed the event along with the DJ. It was great to be able to think about all of the collaborative efforts that go into sustaining a transit authority for 50 years. And this is, again, no small feat. Yes, you are looking at a motorcycle on the bottom, and that is our TP, our transit police, was in full effect. You also see on the lower right, that is a gamer truck that you see some folks really intently looking at screens. We had things for our kids of all ages. Everybody enjoyed it. You could be 9 or 90 and you had a great time. It was a little warm that day, so we were very well equipped with all kind of investments in our infrastructure to make sure that people stayed cool. Shout out to the team that put this together, but especially Chanel Steiner, Sharon Jenkins, and Sergeant Cummings on the TP staff. That marketing and TP really did the thing as far as coming together and being able to support. We had a lot of support as well. You'll see our county exec in the lower right hand. You'll see, I think Deidre is right there, and Mayor Gallo is in that selfie. Deidre is or Trustee McPherson, you are the selfie queen, as I like to call you. And we also had Reverend Lucas. We had our chief of police, who actually came out on crutches due to knee surgery. We had a lot of just goodwill going and a lot of fun. So thank you to the team, and I think that does deserve a round of applause. All right, now going on to bigger things in terms of construction and revitalization for the neighborhood. West 25th, unless you have been living under a rock, you might have seen some of this in the news lately as far as the back and forth regarding parking and the movement of BRT, Bus Rapid Transit. This project is moving forward. We continue to work with our external partners. Ohio City Incorporated, otherwise known as OCI, was our really collaborator on this community meeting. We continue to have them. I believe we're looking for one additional August date to be able to present final plans and blueprints to the community so that we can move forward for this project. There is a lot of buzz about this. Everybody has an opinion, and we appreciate them all, and we will continue through with the project to make sure that mobility and safety are top priorities for our customers, and also making sure that the corridor has the investment of public transit that it needs. So we had a great turnout, really good collaboration. You'll see Mike Schipper there. I want to say that's Callie Mersman in the front, Joe Schaefer, and a couple other community members that are there pouring over the blueprints. Also, on the same vein, we had really good movement or traction on the E79 Blue and Green Line Station reconstruction groundbreaking event. This just occurred last Friday, July 11th, and this was out at the actual site in the Kinsman neighborhood. It was awesome to be able to have literally shovels in the ground. So shout out to our internal team, Steve Basso, and facilities to be able to make that happen. Interesting note, we are keeping those shovels because I anticipate a lot more groundbreakings, and so those belong to us now. And really being able to get the support of U.S. Congresswoman Shontel Brown. She was there, traveled from D.C. to our particular site for this event. We really appreciate her. Also celebrating a lot of the infrastructure grant money that came to support this program. And we had a star-studded lineup, including Council President Blaine Griffin. We had Council Member Richard Starr, whose ward this is residing in. We also had Kent Smith, who came from the delegation. We had representation from Bernie Moreno's staff through the senatorial office. We also had representation through Senator Husted's office. So we really appreciate those individuals, along with board members. There might be a couple other folks that I'm forgetting. We had a lot of folks there, so it was great to be able to support this and look forward to the future. And also the artist, Bob Peck, let me not forget him, who's going to be very colorful in this particular project. Rail car shell. So I wanted to make sure that we also included this as we start to get closer and closer to that summer 2026 of the first car coming to Cleveland. You'll notice some familiar faces in the lineup there in front of the car shell. So most notably, you'll probably recognize Flance Caver and Michael Shipper, Casey Blaze in the middle, and I want to say Brian Moore is there in the blue shirt, second from the right. And then we have two other additional folks. Am I missing, Doc? Okay, go ahead.
The two other folks, the gentleman on the left end is Don Herdum. He's our vehicle engineer, helping with the engineering oversight. And Ken Bisson is our quality assurance manager. So he goes out on every build that we have to ensure that we have, or his team to ensure that we have quality builds.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Doc. I actually am going to ask you to go ahead and weigh in on the trip in a second. And additionally, Mike, I can't see you around the pole, but if you had any thoughts that you wanted to share on this particular trip, this is significant for our team because this is really seeing the car in motion. It is being built. So the car shell is really one of many trips to the West Coast to be able to see it in motion, knowing that it's coming. This is the first installation. We're going to continue to update you as the cars are continue to be completed. But Doc and Mike, if you had any comments, go right ahead.
Yeah, I'll start. Thank you. Good morning, Ms. Terry, Ms. Welch, and members of the board. I'm Flance Caver, the Chief Operating Officer here at the Greater Cleveland RTA. This trip offered both Mike Shipper and I the first opportunity to visit the Siemens Mobility plant and see the workmanship, the stages that they are in with other vehicles, and to see the painted car show. The painted car show is a major milestone. After we left and we were there the first week of July, they have now mated that car, so it's one full car, and they will begin the process of placing all of the parts internal. So it's just a myriad of electrical components and other components that have to go. But we had an opportunity to see the production facility, see the quality assurance that's being done within that facility. But also Mike and I had an opportunity to meet with the executives there to explain needs that we have and communicate our expectations for the vehicle and the vehicle's build. So it was a terrific trip. The other guys that you see there are back and forth there frequently, and just a terrific trip. Mike, you want to add anything?
Sure, Mike Shipper. Yeah, I think the other thing that was important is that as we toured the plant, we were able to see a lot of other vehicles from other properties in various stages. So I think we have a better understanding of how the cars run through the plant at each stage of the actual production. So I think that was really helpful. We always want to think that we're the only customer of our vendors, but they have quite a bit going on there, and certainly we need to be on point on making sure that we stay in line because their plant is very busy.
All right. Thank you, gentlemen. All good points. It definitely is worth taking the trip sometimes. Some things just can't be done virtually. So we will continue to commit to that process. It's amazing to be able to be one of those, to be in one of those plants. So congratulations on the milestone, gentlemen, and we look forward to the next steps. Also wanted to give you a heads up on celebratory things happening. This week is star-studded in the neighborhood, so to speak, as well. RTA celebrated alongside Tri-C of 20 years of corporate college. If you have been to any retreats or meetings or trainings or development opportunities at RTA, you probably have been doing it in partnership with Tri-C. We are one of their highlighted partners through their 20th anniversary celebrations going on this week. Just yesterday, our HR and training divisions and operations were highlighted at Tri-C Corporate College. Transforming Through People was the name of the segment. It was a great opportunity to really see some of the transformations of some of our staffers from operator to leader, for example. Being able to see people going through that on stage was really emotional. And a lot of people, I think we even had a couple tears shed in that conversation, but it really was a testament to the passion of RTA and the support of Tri-C. So we appreciate that as well. Also wanted to make sure that we honored Miss Marie Freitas, who passed most recently. It's amazing. She is a centenarian plus. It's amazing when you think about folks that have passed the threshold of 100 years. She is in that ilk, absolutely. I want to say she might have been 105, if I'm not mistaken. And I think that is a record for most of us. She served for over 40 years on RTA's Citizen Advisory Committee. She also served as an advocate in the passage of the 1975 levy countywide that established what we know now as RTA. And then she will also be remembered. From what I understand, she was a very funny lady and also had very much a commitment to the riders and the public service that we really just strive for every day. So we appreciate her. We did find this photo here with then Mayor Jackson, along with the gentleman who I'm not too sure of on the right-hand side in Little Italy. And this was a very apropos as we're starting to do the digging in the groundbreakings now. So it was really nice that this kind of put a cap on the presentation. So congratulations to her. We appreciate her commitment to the CAC, and her legacy will live on. And that is all. Unless you have any questions, I'm happy to take them.
Any questions? Thank you for that presentation. I do not have any items for the president's report. Are there any items for old business? Any items, new business? Well, with that, the next regular board meeting is scheduled for August 19th, 2025 in this boardroom at the Authority at 1240 West 6th Street, Cleveland, Ohio, 44113. The meeting will be live streamed per usual at riderta.com/board. By clicking the meeting date, the public is welcome to also attend in person. With that, I will adjourn the meeting. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved. Second, Sleesman.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? This meeting is now adjourned at 10:05 a.m.